Hey there, survivors. Welcome to a 7 Days to Die Alpha 19 tutorial style video where we take you through the interactive loading screen tips. So these are those tips that you see when you're waiting for the game to load up and you're able to kind of click through them. There are 30 of them there in the list, and I go and explain them in depth a little bit further rather than their little quick one-off sentences, just to kind of give you a better idea what they mean. Some of them are super obvious and others are a little bit more obscure and take a little bit of time to kind of figure out how the workings of it go. And in this video, I will take you through steps 1 through 5 and kind of break it up into a series so that these videos are not super long. And let's get started. All right, so we're going to go through our first tip as we're here in the nighttime and we are in a test world here. We're going to go through tip number 1 for the interactive tips. It's called the main screen bars, 1 out of 30. On your HUD, your health and stamina levels are shown as red and blue bars. Food and water levels are shown as green and blue bars under your tool belts. Open your character screen with B to see detailed player stats in the tabs below your character's name. So as you can see on the left hand side of the screen at the bottom corner, there's a couple of bars there, the blue and the red bar. Blue is your stamina, red is your health, and there's one right above that. I showed this here as I'm crouching. That's kind of like a yellowish, greenish kind of hueish to it. That is your noise level, right? So as you move or do things, it's gonna kind of that number's gonna go up and down, and it's gonna kind of be the number for your like I guess your stealth would be a good way to describe it, or like your the noise level that you're creating for zombies to hear out in the world. The If you look at your tool belt, at the bottom of that is the green and blue bars. The green bar is your food, and the blue bar is your water. Kind of makes sense as far as that goes. I'm going to bring in a little extra to this for you guys, and the one that goes above the top of the tool belt is purple. That shows how much experience points that you have currently, and kind of gives you like a progress bar towards your next level up for XP. So if we hit the B button and we go into our character screen, for example, we are currently level 4, right? And that's what that represents there, is how much XP you need till your next level up. So if we do go into the core character stats here, you'll see health and stamina, your food and water, gives you exact values, as well as how many zombie kills, player deaths, so on and so forth. Also, again, XP to next level, 9,907 points. And that's what this bar here kind of represents, that purple bar at the top. All right, so tip 2. Here we are now, and you can see that I am currently holding a stone axe in my hand, and that is what the second tip is. 2 out of 30, stone axe. The stone axe is a primitive starting tool used to gather resources using your left mouse button. That's what you would use to gather resources. So like, for example, if I hit this wall, I will gather resources from doing that. Like I'll get a stone. You'll see in the bottom right hand corner, I've added a stone. Got some extra XP for that as well. You can also use it to repair items. So like if you drop down a frame, for example, and you go to your stone axe, if you use the right mouse button, you will upgrade that particular item to a solid wood block rather than just a wood frame. And that's what the stone tool does. It's kind of a great early weapon, primitive tool, of course, as they say, but it's a kind of like an all-in-one type of tool because you can break things down, multiple different items you can break down. Like you can hit corpses with this, or dead animals to kind of get meat out of them. You can obviously break down walls and rocks and stone and iron and everything else and gather resources from that, or you can use it again, like I said, to kind of repair and also upgrade too. So like you can even upgrade this even further and continue to upgrade it as well. Like if you have cobblestone, I do not have any cement, so I can't go any further than that, but kind of just continue to upgrade stuff. Great early weapon tool, early game tool, sorry, and it's has different levels to it. So this one is starting off at a level 1, and the more you increase your perk levels, you'll get a better tool. So the particular perk for this one happens to be the Miner 69er under your strength. So if you go to Miner 69er and you upgrade this here, you can see it'll craft quality 2 poor tools. So you'd be able to kind of like buy this perk here with your available points, and you're able to then upgrade this and get, craft a better tool. That's tip 2. All right, folks, so now we're going to take a look at the next tip on the interactive menu, and that is tip 3, where it's called harvesting resources. Harvest resources such as trees, rocks, and more using your fists with the left mouse button. Tools are much faster and yield higher amounts of resources. So essentially what they're talking about here is you can literally run up to a tree and punch it in order to get resources. So you see I'll catch one wood there, and you can kind of sit here all day long and just punch away at this tree. And it's like for almost every 10 punches you get one piece of wood. Now, if I'm using a stone axe, which is one of the early tools and very primitive, you hit this and you get, after one shot, one hit, you will get 2 pieces of wood, and so on and so forth. As you continue on with this, you can continue to hit this and get more resources, right? Same thing happens if you are looking at rocks. You can sit here and punch rocks. So after 7 punches, we get 1 stone, and you get a small stone, right? But if we hit this with a stone axe, we get 1 stone, almost 2 per here for every hit when we are doing it with the stone axe, right? So obviously you can walk around and punch things, but it'll take you a lot longer, and it's a hell of a grind to kind of do that. So the easier way to do that is kind of using these tools. The higher the tool, the better the tool, the better your yield is going to be. So we hit that, we get 15 stone, 4 stone, I'm sorry. We get 4 stone instead of 2 stone with every hit that we do there for that. So like you can get a lot more resources a lot faster doing it that way. And then the same holds true for the axe, right? If you're hitting here with the axe, the steel axe, for instance, you'll get 15 wood on 1 shot in that case. And let's try one of these over here. We get 11 there. Another 10. Another 10. And another 10. So 10 to 11 pieces on the hit with the steel axe. So again, higher the tool, the better the tool, the better it's going to do. The other piece to that as well is when you go in here and you go take a look at your skills, there are skills that will help make that a better possibility of getting resources as well. So for example, if I come in here and we go to miner 69er, we can maximize your mining efforts by increasing tool damage to bring down rocks and trees faster. The tool nipper, the first one, everyone has to start somewhere. Here you can craft better tools, so you'll craft level 2 poor tools. Increase tool damage by 10%, block damage by 30% with any axe pick, chainsaw or auger. Unlocks all iron tools like pickaxes. So you'll be able to actually craft an iron pickaxe when you unlock this here. So if we go ahead and add that in there, let us take a look and see what this gives us. All right, so let's see what we can get when we hit this here with the axe, steel axe. You get about 13. You get a bonus for knocking the tree down, clearly. And let's try another tree here and see, make sure it's consistent. Yep, that's about 13 for every hit. So you do slightly better there with that perk being added in there. Again, it's a 30% increase for block damage and trees. So let's go ahead and try the same thing with the stones. Got about 5 stones there, plus 4. And we got a bonus for breaking a level of the stone. So you can see where those tools come into play for that. And that's tip 3. That brings us to tip 4, distraction. By throwing a small stone or snowball, you may distract an idle or roaming zombie. Hold down the left mouse button to charge your throw and watch them walk off where your distraction went. So we had the zombie there walking across, right? And if we go ahead and throw this stone in this direction, it should change his direction for us. Because right now he's kind of like idle and sitting there, right? If we throw it over there, that'll change his direction. He'll go after that stone, and that kind of gives us the opening to go this way and like run right past him, right, at that point. So like we've created ourselves a diversion, which is pretty cool. And that brings us to tip 5. Stealth and sneaking. If you are crouching down, you are sneaking. Enemies will have a harder time seeing and hearing you, and you can increase your stealthiness with perks, items, and item mods. The stealth meter does not show specifically sight or sound, but a combined value that lets you see which degree an action affects your stealth. So short and tall of it here is in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You do have a third meter that I mentioned before earlier in the video, where it's kind of like an eye icon and little like orangish yellowish like mustard color, and it kind of shows you your stealthiness at this point. So it's not sight or sound, it's kind of a combination of both or like the noise level and how much you're able to be seen. So like for example, if we had a helmet on and we turn on the light, it's going to go on even higher. So for example, when we go to put the mining helmet on here, what that's going to do for us, if we turn on the light, that's going to give us make us more noticeable if we're like in a dark area, so to speak. So like we can sneak in as we move, you'll see that bar goes up and it moves based upon our actions. And combined with the last step there, you can kind of sneak, throw the rock, create a distraction. He moves off in that direction. You can see him there as he moves off, and we can kind of make our way where we need to go as we're sneaking, because he can't see us. He just saw that distraction at that point. But your bar will go up and down based upon your exact actions and stuff. So careful what you're doing, where you are. Even if you're in the dark and you have like your mining helmet light on, you'd want to turn that light off, because all that does is it create more awareness of where you are with that light on in the dark, right? It's going to kind of stand out and shine a little bit, especially if you're in a dark room. In the perks for skills, you'll have different perks here. You have stealth perks, you have hidden strike, specializing in catching enemy unaware while you are sneaking and they are resting or wandering aimlessly. And then you have from the shadows, which will go specialize in sneaking around in the dark and making less noise in general. So like if you're in a dark room and you have like all the lights off and you have your lights off on your helmet, you'd be able to kind of sneak around a little bit better without making as much noise. You'll also see your meter drop down. Like if it's like a 6 in a dark room, once you start adding to this perk, you'll see that number drop down to like a 5 and a 4, based upon how many levels that you buy here. Like Lurker is the first one, which will mute your actions by about 10%, and sneak movement is 10% faster. So like as you're crouching, you'll move a little bit faster than you normally would without that perk being added into it. There are also mods in the game as well that you can get here to help with that. So like muffled connector mods, these here will decrease your noise by 4%, and then there's the advanced ones which decrease it by a negative 8%. So you're losing 8% of any noise that's created. Those help when you add them into your armor, and your stealth numbers will drop as well, like when you're creeping around like this. Kind of helps keep your armor quiet, because the more armor you add on, the noisier it gets, and that kind of helps bring back down the values of the negative buff of the armor making noise. And that is step 5. And for the sake of this video, because it is 7 days to die, let's do an obligatory zombie kill with the head coming off. And that's for you guys there. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new, and you'll be able to see more of these videos as I complete the series, continuing on with the other 25 steps that are left here, or 25 tips that are left for us to learn what all of these interactive tips are in the loading screen for 7 days to die. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.